Another international victory for Ripple could finally force US regulators to actually do their job. Plus, we have some really interesting updates from Coinbase and Binance US versus the SEC. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, set alerts. Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto and NFTs every day. Let's get into how exactly Ripple won in Singapore and why this is massive for the US. We're about to get left behind. We all know that Southeast Asia is immensely bullish on crypto and technology, and it seems that China is also starting to follow suit as well. Well, at least in Hong Kong. This story from CoinDesk: Ripple obtains in principle approval for major payments, institutional license in Singapore. Basically, it's a provisional license, meaning that they still have to go through a couple other loopholes, but the license is approved, and it allows them to offer payment services such as account issuance, cross-border money transfer services, and digital payment token services while it undergoes further regulatory checks. This basically means that they're pretty much in the clear and there's just a couple little things that need to be done. And guess what? They plan to use XRP as a form of international transfers. Very interesting considering the SEC absolutely despises Ripple and in my personal opinion has unjustly attacked them. Now, with news like this happening, the public servants and regulatory institutions in the US have to act. They have to do something because we're seeing other countries continue to advance while the US has pretty much hit every single company in the crypto asset space. And really, has the SEC done anything to protect us? Well, let's now talk about what happened with Binance US. This is going to get wild. Binance fired back against the SEC when they attacked Binance US. The SEC is alleging that Binance US had commingled funds. But when the courts asked the SEC, can you show us proof of that? The SEC couldn't do so. And we talk about commingling users' assets. They're talking about moving those assets overseas or leaving them in bank accounts with a lot of other type of money from Binance. And this is pretty shocking to hear that our taxpayer dollars are funding an entity that is supposed to protect us, and they can't even do their job properly. Furthermore, Binance is alleging that the courts are giving false statements designed to harm Binance US's customers and likely to taint the jury pool. And I agree with this 100%. Gary Gensler, when asked in 2021 if stablecoins were a security or not under the Howey test, he couldn't answer that. In addition, when he was questioned recently, I believe at the House meeting with Congress there, he could not indicate whether Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, was a security or not. And again, this is his job, babes. And to further prove how incompetent the SEC is, the courts told the SEC that they needed to provide instance that they gave guidelines to Coinbase by a certain time. They couldn't do it. Coinbase fired back and says, you know what, they need to do it, and the courts agreed to that. So the SEC has until October 11th to provide that information, which obviously they're going to scramble to do because they don't have any type of guidelines. The only people that indicated that the SEC laid out guidelines was the Promethean people, which we know Vitalik is affiliated with, some other random people from the SEC and FINRA, CFTC, etc. So that's where it gets a little bit frustrating. And again, this is all an unjust attack on crypto assets because the public servants can't get this stuff together. And honestly, the Hinman documents that were released in the Ripple versus SEC case are going to prove to be a lot of help. It's going to continue to prove how incompetent the SEC is, and hopefully our public servants do something to fix this. In addition to all of this stuff, it looks like the House Committee of Financial Services, I hope that's what they're called, what was it they're called? They're going to be creating a bill for stablecoins and crypto asset regulation. Just because this bill potentially will get approved, which I think it will, it's still going to have to get approved, I believe, by the Senate to pass. So it's good that we do have people on our side, but at the same time, we need to stay diligent and we need to actively speak out and call for a change in the way the SEC works. My main issue is that our taxpayer dollars are going to fund these people, and they're unjustly going after entrepreneurs, crypto asset companies that could build in America, pay taxpayer dollars here, and increase jobs and further help America thrive when it comes to tech. That's all that I care about. I want fairness. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it, so we have to compromise and we have to fight. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, set alerts. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.